Welcome back, America, to the Ely Loew 2040 election. I just want to say quickly something on minimum wage, because it's a hot topic right now. Everyone's saying, raise the minimum wage to $15, right? And I just want to say, that is a stupid idea. Everyone thinks that raising minimum wage just means everyone gets paid more. But let me tell you something about money. It has to come from somewhere, right? And if you force everyone to pay a $15 minimum wage, that money's going to come out of oftentimes small businesses struggling to survive. Sometimes they might have to cut down on their employees, so it'll actually lose jobs. Or it'll force companies to force their employees to be more efficient because they'll want to pay less of them. So no matter what you do with the minimum wage, there will be consequences. But that being said, I think we spend way too much time talking about minimum wage, and I do think we should have a fair minimum wage. What's a fair minimum wage? Well, if you look at this chart here, you can see historically what the minimum wage has been. Adjusted for inflation at $2015, so very recent. And you can see it's kind of always ranged between the $5 mark and the $10 or $11 mark, the $11 mark at its height, right? And considering now that unemployment is basically down below 5%, we could say that now is a kind of good rate to have. But considering that in the past we've had it as high as $10 without a massive spike in unemployment, I would even be okay with a $10 minimum wage on one condition. We never talk about minimum wage again, right? This really should not be a political issue. It should be pegged to inflation, so every year there's a minor increase. We shouldn't have to vote on it every few years. It shouldn't be something people are moaning and whining about. Let's peg it to inflation and let the computers calculate what it is, all right? And then it'll rise naturally, adjusted for cost of living. That will be the federal minimum wage, and then expensive places like San Francisco or New York can adjust it for cost of living. And maybe, and I'm not sure if I'd really recommend this, but maybe it's worth adding in a bit of a modifier based on the unemployment rate, right? So if the unemployment rate is low, like it is now, it can be a little higher, like $10. If it's really high, like it was during the recession, up around 8%, then maybe it can be a little lower, like $9.60, right? And just have a little bit of a multiplier in there. But if we do that, then the minimum wage will always be relevant to the current economic environment, the current prices, the current cost of living. And also people can kind of fairly increase every year, right? And then really we don't have to discuss it ever again. Subscribe if you want to hear more. And I also have a Patreon if you want to help support getting me into the Oval Office. Thank you, America. Have a great day.